Hey, my name is Maygen Reese. I am a stylist here at the Hilt Salon. I've been doing hair for 12 years and using Goldwell exclusively for a year. I'm super impressed with all the products and I can't wait to show you what I'm going to do with them today. If you want to follow me back to meet my model, let's go. So this is Paulina. She is my lovely guest today and friend. This is the one that's going to let me do whatever I want. So today we're going to be working on getting her lighter and brighter while still keeping the integrity of her hair. We're going to give her a fun new haircut, make her look even better than she already does. So today we're going to be using the Oxycure. We are looking to go lighter and brighter and still keep the integrity of the hair. So we're only going to be using 20 volume. I'm mixing my lightener a little bit thicker today. That way I can control the consistency of where I'm placing the lightener exactly where I want it to be. I know it's going to stay there and not move a whole lot. So with this first section here, we're going to be taking kind of large sections. I still want to leave some depth in the hair. That way she has some dimension. So with this initial section, I'm going to be trying to get her super light around her halo perimeter area. With the haircut that we're going to follow up with, it's going to look really nice just to have some light pieces all the way around her hairline. All right, a decent amount of lightener on your brush. And when I say saturate, I mean saturate. We're going all the way in from those mids down. So I'm going to take my lightener and just feather back and forth, completely saturating those ends. Paulina has some previous color on here, so I'm actually going to pocket that foil to keep some heat inside and ensure that she's going to process the way I need her to process. On this other side, we're going to do the same thing, just duplicating and mirroring that other side. All right, after that next section, we're going to go a little bit closer to that root. Since she has lightener on here, I am going to be a little bit more conscious of where I am placing the lightener. If this were somebody who had virgin hair per se, I would just do a chunky weave in this section. I will be following this up with a root tap. So we did teasy lights on the bottom. We have chunky weaves following that. And the last thing we're going to do is we're going to do a chunky weave teasy light. With that first method, we went in and saturated from the mids down. After we get to the back of the head, we'll start working on the front of the head, and I will catch back up with you then. So now that we're getting started on the sides, she likes a money piece. Who doesn't like it right around the face? So this first section right here at the hairline, I do a little baby light weave, and I'll just be touching up her new growth. We're going to follow that first baby light with a second baby light. On this third foil, we are going to do a little bit more chunky of a weave, and this will finish up the money piece on this one side quadrant. This section has a little bit of dark in it, so we're kind of just going to tap and touch. Try to get this all lightened up. With Goldwell, I feel a little more comfortable to push the hair more than I would some other lighteners that I've used in the past. Goldwell, with the main thing being about the integrity of the hair, you just don't have to worry as much per se about over processing the hair. On this next section, after we finish the baby lights around the face, I'm going to do a little bit of a chunky weave. I'm going to give her a little bit of tease here, and I'm going to saturate fully, feathering up into that tease. After I finish that teasy lighted section, I'm going to go back in with a chunky weave all the way to the scalp. I'm going to do this all the way up this side section, and then we're going to move on to the first half of the hairline in the front. Okay, so I'm mixing up some more lightener. I'm gonna be moving up to 30 volume in these last few sections. They're really small. This will give them the opportunity to catch up with the stuff on the back that's been sitting a little bit longer. So now that we're gonna be working on the top of her head and the front, I am going to be a little bit more bold with the money piece up here. On the sides, I like to, it's still gonna be bold and it's still gonna show up, but up here, I really want it to stand out. After I finish the money piece, then we're gonna work horizontally up the head to the part, using the same methods that we used on the sides. I've moved on to this section that is horizontal, and I'm gonna be doing some ribbons. Okay, so we finished up the foils. We have her sitting over there. We are gonna let her process for around 20 minutes, and then we'll get her shampooed and we'll get this show on the road. All right, so we've got her nice and processed. The goal is not to make her a blonde. The goal is to give her some pops of dimension with blonde. So I am using the Oribe Goldwell shampoo for moisture. Anytime I do a blonding process, I want to add back in as much moisture as I can throughout each step of this shampoo bowl. So now I'm going in with the Oribe Gold Lust Mask, considering we had all that nice tight tease at her base. So we're actually going to be mixing up 3 formulas. The first formula is going to be for the back quadrant of her head. So we are going to take the 7 volume in Colorants, and we're going to do 35 mils of it. We're going to do 15 mils of 8BA and 25 mils of the 8CA. And then we're going to finish up with colorants just to get the color out of the bottom of the bowl. The second formula that we're going to be using is going to be for everything around her face that we highlighted. I'm going to be using the Goldwell brightener in the color Natural. We're going to do 1 ounce of it and 1 ounce of 10 volume. Now, the brightener is probably one of my favorite products from Goldwell. This, if I didn't lift it quite light enough and I was a little afraid with lightener, I feel like this gives me that extra punch that I needed, all the while silkening and making it feel really conditioned. So the last formula I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be mixing 10 volume. This is going to be for her root tap. I'm going to do 45 mils of 10 volume and then 45 mils of the 6BP in colorants. And then I like to finish off with those last 5 milliliters to get the color out of the bottom of my bowl. So now that we've got her all brushed out, all the tangles out, me and my lovely friend Kalea here are gonna go in and tap her root, and then we're gonna pull that first formula of the 8CA and 8BA all the way through to her ends in the back, and then we're gonna tap the root with that same formula, the 6BP, and we're gonna pull the Natural through on these front ends. We're going down about 1 inch to 1.5 inches on that tap. And this tap is not really for anything but just to blur any lines that were made with the highlights and teasy lights. And while she's finishing up the tap on that side, I'm gonna go ahead and pull the back quadrant through. One thing I really had to get used to with colorants is the color of the lotion doesn't change as it's toning. So you actually have to check the hair rather than just kind of watching it turn like a lot of other semis and demis. So the final step, we're gonna marry this money piece in with everything else, just using the natural brightener on it. All right, for a detangler, I'm gonna be using the priming lotion from Orbe. So what we're gonna be doing is somewhat version of a shag with lots and lots and lots of layers, lots and lots of facial framing, and a long bang. So what I'm gonna do is just pull up about an inch wide section on the top. I'm gonna pull this all forward. I'm gonna give it a nice little twist. And then we chop. And we're gonna take it to that same point in the front. We're gonna give it a little twist. And the twist just diffuses everything, so I don't have to do quite as much texturizing later on. So what I'm gonna do is slide my shears, opening and closing them just a little bit all the way down. And that's gonna help blend those layers with the back, with the front. And then we're gonna just duplicate everything on this other side. I'm gonna go in here and just do a little bit more bang fringe area because we want that to be really dramatic. So to get her nice and texturized, we are going to be over directing and simply just carving out the hair we want to come out, removing weight. Paulina has fine hair, but she has a lot of fine hair. We're going to take our whole top section straight up and forward, twist it, and we're going to take our razor and just remove weight there as well. I'm doing this with a mediumly used razor, so not a fresh one, because then we would be taking out more hair than we need to, but not an old one because we don't want to kill her poor head. Same thing with this other side. After we finish that, we're gonna go around her face and just add some texture to her facial framing. Now I'm just gonna pop some curls in and show it to her. I am using the Goldwell Diamond Gloss Shine and Protect to protect from heat and add in that shine, and a Bio-Ionic 1-inch long barrel to add in some beach waves. All right, and I'm gonna be finishing off with the KMS Playable Texture, just kind of spraying that throughout. Oh my God, it looks so good. Yeah, it's beautiful. Oh, I love it. It's beautiful, friend. Wow. Wow. Me too. Thank you, friend. All right, so thank you guys for considering me for this opportunity. I hope that I could be an asset to Goldwell, and I really appreciate it. Have a good day.